So it's a Friday night, and I know y'all home, sitting at the crib, and y'all probably trying to figure out what to watch. And I'm just trying to figure out why y'all not watching me yet. I do see some of y'all watching. I see a lot of y'all watching, but you not subscribing and tuning in weekly with your girl. I'm bringing you the most. And if you listen, if ain't none of the movies you watched so far, or excuse me, any of the podcast episodes I've dropped so far, the movies that you want to see me do, then I need you to say something in them comments. I need you to be like, hey yo, do this movie for me. Cause I'ma do it. But y'all be watching, y'all be lurking, but y'all don't be saying nothing. And I just want y'all to know this is the episode before the Thanksgiving episode and before the Black Friday episode, because y'all showed out for me last episode. All I asked for was for 100 views. That's it. That's all I wanted last episode. I said 100 views and at least 2 likes. Y'all showed out for me, and I appreciate the love. No kizzy. I really do. I appreciate the love that y'all showed me on the episode 16. It was so appreciative. And as y'all know, today is episode 17. You know what I'm saying? And I got my teeth in today. I might take them out because it do be hard to talk sometimes with a man. I already have problems talking sometimes, so I might take them out. And I don't know. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in with your girl, and I appreciate y'all showing out for last week's episode, or not last week, 2 weeks ago, that episode. And y'all didn't do too great on last week's episode, and it's okay, cause not everybody know about that movie, and that's okay. I didn't know about it either till I watched it. But if you watch this episode, please do me a favor, go back and watch Everything Is Both. Please go back and watch that episode for me. So what I'm telling y'all is, the more people that watch it, the more subscribers I get, the more I can financially keep doing. And I know y'all thinking, like, how hard is it to financially secure doing? Because I want to be able to do this partially full time. Because my other dream is to become a filmmaker. That's my other dream. But I still want to be able to do this for y'all part full time, and then also create movies for y'all as real part full time. And the moment that y'all can help me get this off the ground, I can start bringing y'all my own classic movie bangers. And I'm telling y'all, I'm cold with the pen, baby. I don't know if I can find somebody that wants to work on a filming project with me. I got a short story we could work on, about a 30-minute short story. We can knock it out and get it cracking. I promise you. But anyway, without further ado, you know it's your host with the most. It's Big Dog Tay Nicole, back at it again with another goddamn video for y'all. And I need y'all to turn me up for real. I need y'all to turn me up for real, because I'm about to start bringing that real energy. I think y'all not really fooling with me, because I'm not bringing that hardcore energy. I'm not bringing who I really am to the table on these episodes. So I'm about to bring who I really is to these tables. And I'm about to get crunk with y'all. You dig me? Because y'all sleeping on the kid. And I'm trying to tell y'all better wake up before y'all look up and Big Dog gone on them. You heard me? Now, it's episode 17, baby. And like I said, I appreciate all the love and the support. I'm really trying to at least get to 100 subscribers by the end of this year. I'm my fingers is crossed and praying for it. I'm asking for, I need 51 more subscribers. So anyone who watches this, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to your girl. I'd appreciate it. And I get it. For those who watching it like, she not for me, I understand. I'm not going to sit here and get upset, but I would love it if you feel like I'm for somebody else, to pass it along and tell them to subscribe to your girl. I'm bringing y'all bangers every week. Can you dig me? I hope you do. Well, anyway, without further ado, once again, this is episode 17, baby. And y'all know how I likes to get down and how I likes to maneuver with my crew. I'm going to call y'all the movie crew. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all about to be called, the movie crew. I think that's what I'm going to call y'all, the movie crew. I don't know. I might like that, the movie crew. But anyway, crew, today's episode, once again, is episode 17. And we talking about Four Brothers. That's the episode we working on today. We working on Four Brothers. We're going to talk about this movie today. This movie was released August 12th, 2005. So this movie's almost 20 years old. I'm a decade older than this movie. Woo. I don't know if I wanted to say that out loud, but I did. Oh well. I'm a decade older than this movie. And this movie runs for about an hour and 49 minutes. It was set in Detroit, Michigan. That's where the movie set at. And y'all know I like to bring y'all the characters and lay it out for you. Now I took a lot of notes on this movie because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I kind of forgot like there was a lot of stuff in this movie when I rewatched it, and I was like, that happened in the movie, and it's crazy because I ain't seen this movie. Like I said, I'm a decade older, so this I was 10 years old when this movie came out. I haven't seen this movie probably since 2012, maybe. So it's been about 12 years since I didn't rewatch this movie. And when I watched it, I was like, this is actually a good ass movie. Like I'm gonna give it about a 7 out of 10 because it's actually a really good movie, and I don't know what it do got some drawn out parts, but it's actually entertaining throughout the entirety of the movie. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, dang, it's been about 12 years since I didn't watch this movie, and it was crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna run down the characters for y'all real quickly. Some of these names I'm gonna butcher, and if you've been watching me long enough and following me long enough, you know I don't know how to say these people's names, so I put it on the screen so that way you know who it is. Cause I'm not that great with saying people's names. I apologize. I will butcher the heck out of a name, but that's why you see it on the screen and you can pronounce it for yourself. Can you dig me? Now we got we gonna go down the character list, and yes, I need my computer for this. We got Phenolial. I might have messed that up already. Phenolial Flangan. She played Evelyn Mercer. Miss Mercer is the mother of the four brothers. Now, let's get into these four brothers. We got Andre 3000, aka Andre 3K. He played Jeremiah, aka Jerry Mercer. Then we got Taraji P. Henson. She played Camille Mercer. She's the wife of Jeremiah. Then we got Tyrese Gibson, aka Black Ty, played Angel Mercer, brother of Jeremiah Mercer. Then we got Mark Wahlberg. My bad, I said his name wrong. Played Bobby Mercer, brother of Angel and Jeremiah Mercer. Then we got the baby brother, Garrett Hudlin, played Jack Mercer, the baby brother of Bobby, Jeremiah, and Angel Mercer. Then we got Sofia Vergara. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I never have. She plays Sophie. Then we got this name. Hey, y'all gonna have to give me some grace on this name, cause only the people who related to him and worked with him gonna know how to say this name. Shutel Ujafo. I think that's how you pronounce that. He played Victor Sweets. And if I said his name wrong, I'm sorry. I can't say these people's names right all the time. I apologize. Then we got Mr. Terrence Howard. He played Lieutenant Green. And then we got Josh Charles, who played Detective Fowler. Now, y'all know I'm about to put this on my head, right? Because I'm not holding this mic this entire time. So, give me a second. All right. So, I only held the mic long enough so I can get these names going. So, the movie opens up with Mama Mercer, and that's what I'm gonna call this entire time, Mama Mercer. It opens up with Mama Mercer digging into this kid named Darnell's ass about him stealing candy out of a convenience store. So she, running down, giving him this whole spiel about why he shouldn't and all this other stuff, scaring him in not to doing bad things, like a good Samaritan should. Scare these kids straight, you dig me? And during that time, they had a little conversation. He run about the store. Her and the store clerk in there chit chatting or whatever. She looking at the birds, aka the turkey, trying to figure out what she want to get. Some cat comes in, two cats. They come in, they robbing the joint, and they kill the clerk. And then they heard Mama Mercer gas, so they come, and unfortunately, they kill Mama Mercer too, right? So she gets killed, and that's that. It clips over to Bobby, who's played by Mark once again. You see him rolling in his car. He pulling up to their mama's funeral. So at the funeral, you got Jack, you got Jeremiah, and you got Bobby there. Angel's not there, right? So they had a funeral and they pull up to Mama Mercer's house where Angel is actually waiting on them at. So from what I gathered from hearing throughout the story is Bobby is an ex hockey player who basically got kicked out of the league because he was just too much of a hothead, right? And then you got uh Jeremiah, who's just a family man who worked for the union and was trying to get his own business up off the ground. And then you got Angel, who's an ex-marine turned hustler, and then you got Jack, who was a musician and was pretty much still a little dumbass kid. He was a grown man, but he's a little dummy. You know, not a little dummy. Let me not say that. He was a grown man, but he still had kid mentalities. He was babyfied by his older three brothers. And before y'all get to asking dumb questions, Mama Mercer adopted all four of them. None of them are her biological children. She adopted all four of them because she couldn't find no home to put them in. Nobody would take them because they was some jacked up delinquents that didn't know how to act right. Which you hear Lieutenant Green tell Fowler this information when he's asking, like, as she's such a saint, how did she end up with these boys? And over time, the antics from Fowler, as time progresses, you start paying attention more and more to Fowler, and you just like, something wrong with this motherfucker, bro. Anyway, and you low key would wonder if something's wrong with Green too on the low. But anyway, so basically, Bobby's the oldest. From what I remember, Bobby's the oldest, and then it's Jeremiah, then it's Angel, then it's Jack. That's the age bracket. So after their mom passed away, or was murdered, shall I say, not passed away, but was murdered. Of course, like I said, they had her funeral. They went back to her house, and they pretty much was all hanging out together, whatever the case may be, at the crib. And Angel got this little you dig Sophie that he messing with that got a man, and he was gonna leave the crib to go holler at her, and they teasing him about it or whatever, and then you get to see Angel and her running in the snow from her boyfriend, and this fool's over there. He missing though, but I don't think he was shooting to hit him nowhere. I think he was just shooting to scare him. But anyway, fast forward, Bobby and Angel get into an argument about her being there. It don't matter because she still stay anyway. Well, while they at the crib, they start having a family Thanksgiving dinner, right? That was cooked by Jack. They having family Thanksgiving dinner as siblings like they did, back when they was kids or whatever. And while they at the table, Mama Mercer, you know how people have visions or flashbacks or just a moment of connection with the dead. If you don't know what that's like or haven't experienced that, then maybe you just haven't experienced it. But the first one who has experience is Jeremiah, and he has this connection with his mama. I won't tell y'all what she said because if you haven't watched the movie by now, then you probably should because it's a movie worth watching. But anyway, he has his connection first, then Jack has his connection, and then Angel has his connection. The only one at that table that didn't have a connection at that moment was Bobby. And it's crazy because in the film you see Bobby look up at her seat and he's just staring at it, but there's no connection. She don't arrive. She don't pop up in his face, if you will, and have this connection and this conversation with him in his mind. So, I did skip something. Um, there's a scene in the movie after the funeral that they go to Jeremiah's house, and Bobby and Jack are talking to their nieces, basically. And I'm gonna play the clip. Hold on. And that, hey, when she said that, I died because it was just so innocent and cute. But that's the one thing I forgot to mention was that there. But anyway, um, after they have the dinner, they go play hockey. After they go play hockey, they eventually go see the attorney that their mother had. That had her keepsakes and stuff like that in the little lock box or safety deposit box. It was a little bit of cash. I believe it was Jack and Jeremiah's birth certificates and other things that connected them to their past so they know where they really came from. But Bobby and Angel didn't have that information. And then there was, like I said, some cash in there, some jewelry. Bobby hands out the cash. He gives some to Jeremiah, some to Angel. Don't give Jack nothing but a little necklace that was left in there. But nonetheless, he got something. He just didn't get no cash. And after all that, Jeremiah showed them this. I'm gonna call him Jerry. I'm not gonna call him Jeremiah this whole time. I'm gonna call him Jerry because that's what they called him in the movie. Was Jerry? Jerry shows them this building he wanted to purchase and selling them this pipe dream that he had about the building, right? And they like, yeah, whatever. After that, they go have some drinks. They at a bar, and of course, Angel and Bobby and Jack just along for the ride. He that little brother that just down for whatever. He don't really know what's going on. He don't know no better. He just down with whatever they say. And Bobby and Angel, they want revenge for what happened to their mama. And Jerry, he do, but he don't because he's scared. And honestly, I feel like from jump, Jerry knew exactly who did what. I feel like he was withholding information on the low. But anyway, that's a conversation when we get to the to the end of the movie. But anyway, the bartender ends up telling them some details that was left out about the situation. So they go pull up. Um, I did skip something. Let me rewind back. The scene I just showed y'all with the little girls and they was telling them that ain't thing, their uncle and whatnot. The Lieutenant Green and Detective Fowler had showed up at that thing, and they was basically telling Bobby to let it go and let them handle it. That's what they told, because they already knew what Bobby was on. They knew what Bobby was gonna do, and they like let us handle it, right? Keep that in mind. So fast forward back to what I was just talking about. Well, while they at the bar, the bartender is getting ready to start spilling some tea, and Jerry like, bro, can you just please let the cops handle it? Now I ain't trying to be funny. Somebody killed my mama. I ain't letting the cops handle nothing at that point, because you're not gonna think to let the cops handle it. You're not gonna think it. You want revenge. You gonna go out for blood. That's why I started wondering if Jerry already knew what happened, because he didn't want no revenge. It seemed like he was like, let them handle it. Let the police handle it. Or maybe he was just real life scary and just didn't want his hands to get dirty. And it could be the latter. It could be the latter. Anyway, let's keep it rocking. When the bartender starts talking to Bobby, Angel, and Jack, because Jerry left, he like, I'm up out of here. I don't want no parts of this. We don't get to see exactly what the bartender tells them, but I'm 100% sure that he basically informed them that the shooting wasn't random, and that the there's a gang that was involved in the shooting, but it wasn't necessarily a random gang shooting necessarily. I think that's what he might have told them. I don't know. They don't tell us exactly what he told them, but they ended up putting them to this whole rundown little building, and they run down on the people in the building, and a little young cat that was in the building. He told them a little bit about some details or whatever the case may be, and he was basically one of the witnesses, I guess, maybe. And he told him, like where she got killed at, nobody was on the basketball court. That's how they knew that he was lying about something. Because he tells them, wasn't nobody on the basketball court around the time she got killed, because the lights go off, blah, 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 blah. They're like, yeah, whatever. They drag him out there. They see the lights go off. So like, all right, cool, whatever. Then the next day, they go back to the scene where their mom was killed at. They go back to the same store. And the store owner's coming to open up the store, the business or what have you. And they outside there and they want to talk to him about it. And he showed him the video footage. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I can't sit there and watch no video of my mama getting killed, bro. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to just sit there and watch that and then go home and act like nothing happened. Like that I couldn't do it. I wouldn't have nah, bro. I couldn't do it. Nah, couldn't do it. Well, they basically find out from the old head that was in there to show them the video footage that basically it wasn't no random shooting. And they tell him who he can go talk to, to find out more information. because everybody basically tell him that this don't seem like no random shooting. This just couldn't have been random. But he tell them who he can go find, how they, who they can get and how they can get the information, blah, blah, blah. So they pull it to a little basketball game that's going on. They hold it up. This little young cat, which I'm moving up faster than what I thought. So anyway, I had to make sure I was moving quite fast. So they basically, they like I said, they hold the basketball game. This kid named Keenan, yeah, Keenan. He's played by Kevin Duhaney, and basically his brother Damien, who's played by Lyric Bent, was the one that the gangsters paid to lie and say that he saw two thugs go in there and rob the store. He got paid to lie because it was a lie. That's not what really happened. He probably wasn't even there that night when that shit happened. Anyway, so they pay Damien a visit after talking to Keenan. You know what I'm saying? And for real, they should have taught little buddy how to keep his mouth shut and how to be cool under pressure, because really they wouldn't even have known he had nothing to do with it. Had his little scary self not hopped up out the seat talking about some damn and trying to run. He got scared and tried to flee it. Like, dude, they coming in here stopping a whole basketball game, risking getting jumped with a whole gun. I would have stayed where I was sitting at. I wouldn't have got up and let them know I knew nothing. I would just sit there and been chill. But he got up. They seen him, realized he knew something, talked to him. He didn't gave his brother up. They get to the apartments. His brother is going inside the apartments. They basically chase him down. During that situation, they chasing him down. He tries to escape out of the window with a rope. This motherfucker trying to climb out the window with a rope. And this fool Bobby, hi-ya, chop that motherfucker. And down goes Damien. And now he got a whole pork rib hanging out of his goddamn leg because he done broke his leg real bad. But nonetheless, they get the information that they need and want from Damien. And R.I.P. Damien. Because did nobody come and help Damien. And during this time when they was chasing or when they was looking for Damien, Jeremiah was with them, but he still wanted to keep up his family man image, so he got up out of there before they got a hold to Damien. And at this point, they get the information they need from Damien, and they go looking for the two thugs that killed their mama. They ended up finding them at this little club, but of course the thugs realized that, oh, it's a group, it's two white men and a black dude just standing in the doorway. That don't look suspicious at all. But of course they realize they there for them. They start chasing them, and they chasing these boys down, yo. I mean, they chasing them down. They behind the car, foo foo foo. They chasing them down, y'all. I mean, in the snow, car sliding and swinging, and they chasing them down. I mean, on them. You know what I'm saying? And they eventually, Bobby eventually gets their car to stop. But see, Bobby didn't caught a flat. He didn't wreck the front end of his car, but he don't care. He on their tail. Well, he eventually I think they got stuck in the snow, if I'm not mistaken, and that's how he messed his car up. They somehow the shooters got caught in the snow, and Bobby rear-ended them and flipped them or whatever. Well, not flipped them, but he pushed them out the snow. Eventually, he does hit them though, and he makes their car flip. They done for. Ain't no more driving for them. That car flipped over and done for. Well, the one that was on the passenger side, somehow he either he flew out of the car or something, but he was already out the car. Angel over there with him, back up on him, and then Bobby snatched the one out the driver's seat. He back up on him. You know what I'm saying? And they like, who sent y'all? Like, what y'all? You know what I'm saying? They still don't want to say nothing. They was gonna die with that information, and fuck up. Both of them done for. Now, Jack, little old scary tail self. Jack is too scary to be hanging around them thugs. And I know them his brothers. But he is not about that life. And he probably should have kept his not about that life ass at home. Because he was scared. He gonna ask him, where are they going? Yeah, they gone, fool. You ain't hear that? Scary tail self. Now, after that, we end up meeting Sweets. This is where we end up meeting Sweets because the two gunmen were in town shooters, and Sweets wanted out of town shooters. Well, didn't nobody listen to his request. And which, if they would have got out of town shooters, then it probably wouldn't have been no movie, of course. But there probably wouldn't have been so much bloodshed. They probably still would have eventually got to Sweets, but it would have probably took a little bit more investigation to find out exactly what happened. But during that moment, Sweets is going off on his crew, his delinquent, his not delinquent, but his incompetent staff is what how he treats them, and he going off on them. And while he going off on them, one of the cats, whose name is Evan, played by Jannard Burks, um, he's eating, and Sweets throws the food on the floor, and he tell him, since you want to eat, get down there and eat like a dog. And then this fool, Evan's wife, opened up her big mouth instead of keeping her mouth shut. Your man already getting punked in front of everybody, but she opened her mouth and he like, you go over there and eat with him then, ho. Go on, get. And now they both on the floor eating food, looking stupid, pathetic. Bobby and Jack was trying to get Angel to go with them to go investigate, and try to find out more information on who killed who sent them two killers to kill their mama. And Sophie is like, nah, you ain't going with them. You staying behind. And it's a good thing that he did, because when he stayed behind, he gets to find out that there was a life insurance policy, a little over 400,000 in their mama's name, that Jeremiah was or Jerry, whatever, sole beneficiary of, right? He finds that out. He like, what the fuck, bro? So he doing his own leading investigation or whatever. Apologize. And basically, at this point, now Angel's starting to realize that Jerry got himself mixed up, or at least he believes Jerry got himself mixed up with some thugs, and that could be why their mama got killed, right? Well, they searching for more answers on what's going on, and they discover that the lawyer, the attorney cat that gave them their mama's safety deposit box, they discovered it. He lied. He was seeing their mama more often than what he was letting on to. Well, it turns out they find out their mama was getting regular ping. Okay? They find out their mama was getting regular ping in the worst way possible. Okay? I don't think I would have wanted to find that out about my mama after she done died. I'm cool with knowing about it when she alive, because I expect that she alive. But when she done died, don't tell me you was giving my mama no regular peen. I don't want to know. At that point, you could have just said I took her on coffee dates, and I would have just had to put two and two together, connect the dots on my own. Talking about some y'all was more social. I don't want to know that, sir. She gone. Anyway, eventually Angel goes ahead and tells Bobby and Jack that Jeremiah ain't being completely honest with them about what's going on, and he sends them to go find Councilman Douglas, and has them ask exactly who Jeremiah done got caught up with, because now they need answers. Well, why they doing that? Why they doing that? My back. I'm sorry. Angel starts following Jeremiah around to go see if he goes to go really cash this life insurance policy or not. And sure enough, he finds him at the bank. And then Bobby and Jack find Councilman Douglas, and they have a whole little come to Jesus meeting with Douglas. And Douglas tells them, look, your boy got caught up with Victor Sweets. All right? That's who he got caught up with. All right? Cool. Leave me lead. Now, during this time, Lieutenant Green starts to discover some information about his partner, Detective Fowler, that he didn't realize. He started noticing that Fowler's withholding information. See, Fowler actually had talked to Mama Mercy a week before she died. She came to make a complaint, but this was never reported. This was never said to Green. He knew nothing of this conversation that ever happened. So, now he's like, what's going on with my partner? My partner keeping stuff from me. What's going on? After after that happens, and after Jack and Bobby got Councilman Douglas to tell them that it was Sweets. Sweets has a meeting with Councilman Douglas. Now, of course, the reason why he has this meeting with Councilman Douglas is because they Bobby, Jack, and Angel go to a bowling alley, and they're sitting there, and Bobby's like, Angel, what are we here for? And as they're sitting there, here comes Jerry meeting with Evan to give Evan 20 bands to give to Sweets, you know, because that he got to pay to play basically. And they see that, they confront Evans, and they take the money from Evans, right? So because of that, Evans went back and told Sweets basically, somebody done gave up your name. And of course, Sweets ain't no dummy. Who else would have gave up my name? Councilman Douglas. So he pretty much checked him on an ordeal. And then this is what happens to Councilman Douglas. So Douglas gets punked too. Between Evans and Douglas, them two kept getting punked the entire movie. And then the little Hispanic buddy, I can't think of his name right now. I forgot to write his name down. But one of the Hispanic people, the Hispanic worker, he get punked too. Cause Sweet's over there telling him, let me teach your girl a few tricks before you marry her. Wait a minute. Do what? Man, he would have got beat up right then and there. They all was just scared of a little punk, because that's all he was a real punk. Ain't no real gangster acting like that to their people. I'm just going to keep it a buck. But anyway, I digress. After that situation happens, it's alluded, but it doesn't say. But it's alluded that Councilman Douglas might have been taken care of by Sweets. I don't know how true it is, but one thing I can say about Sweets though in this movie, he wasn't afraid to do his own dirty work. Besides when it came to Mama Mercer, that's the only time he was afraid to do his own dirty work. Little scaredy cat. And oops, I gave out some information. Well, y'all getting ready to find out anyway. So Bobby and Angel confront Jerry about the insurance policy, and man, y'all probably already seen it. I ain't played the audio, but I'm pretty sure y'all seen when Bobby hit my boy like that. I don't know why they had to do him like that. But anyway, they confront him about it. And Jeremiah was like, bro, how y'all mad at me because mama took out an insurance policy for the girls to make sure that they was taken care of. Y'all wasn't here helping me with her. I was paying all of mama's bills. I was taking care of the house. I was doing everything for her while y'all was out gallivanting doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all wasn't out here helping mama. And they all looking stupid now. Cause y'all mad at him because she took out life insurance policy to make sure her granddaughters were straight, because he the only one who was helping her. She knew he was gonna go broke trying to help take care of her and his household. She knew that wasn't gonna work. So of course she wanted her grandkids to be set up. Understandable. But during this argument, he's telling them like, only reason why I wasn't able to get my business off the ground wasn't because the bank didn't approve my loans, like I denied for loans. It's because Sweets shut it down because I didn't want to let him in on my business venture. That's why. It had nothing to do with me getting involved with Sweets. It's because I wouldn't get involved with him. And because I wouldn't get involved with him, he stopped it. And spoiler alert, I'm about to score hit from this point on. This is just straight spoiler. This is about to be straight spoiler. Now, because he wouldn't get in line and wouldn't pay the bribe, it was stopping him from getting his career and what he wanted off the ground. Which at that point, their mama Mercer knew this Sweets was the reason why her son couldn't progress and that he had people in his pocket. She went to go complain. She made a complaint and a police report with Detective Fowler, who kept the report, trashed the report basically, and said nothing. And then he turned the report in to Sweets. He gave it to Sweets basically. So Sweets is the one who had their mama killed because she was telling police on him. She was snitching on him basically. So he had her killed to shut her up basically. That was a bad idea if you ask me. Because little did he know she had 4 crazy boys. And I think he did it because he assumed that only Jack and and Jerry were in town because Angel and Bobby was gone. So he just assumed they wouldn't be like nobody would put two and two together. They would think it was just a random accident that she was killed. Bad idea. You should have known that Bobby and Angel wasn't gonna go for that. Well, during this argument, like I said, it's a spoiler alert, and I'm gonna play some clips in between, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This was the saddest part in this movie, and I know she's thinking, how was the old lady getting killed not sad? We didn't have to see it. Well, we did eventually see it, but we didn't have to. But this part in this movie was so sad, bro. So while they arguing back and forth, the doorbell rings at Mama Mercer's house, and Jack goes to answer the door. When he opens the door, somebody with a mask on says some slick shit to him or whatever, and it hits him in the face with some snow. Like I said, y'all might be watching a clip up top while I'm talking. And Jack goes and chases after him. And the unfortunate happens to Jack. I don't know why he went and chased after dude. I just would have picked up some snow and flung it at him from a distance. He chased after him, and it wasn't the smartest thing to do because it got Jack killed. And that was probably the saddest part. The way they did Jack was dirty, man. But of course, they have a shootout and they kill all of them there. And it's never confirmed whether or not Detective Fowler or Sweets really sent them. I know that Bobby does ask one of the shooters who sent you, Sweets, and he said, yeah, Sweets. But I don't think it really was Sweets that sent them. I think it might have been Detective Fowler on the low that sent them. But I don't know, dude said Sweets, so maybe it really was Sweets. Maybe Sweets went and hired people he thought could finish the job that his in-town hitman couldn't do. But anyway, when the shooting is done, Lieutenant Green pulls up to the crib and he's talking to them and letting them know, like, basically, I have a dirty cop on my team, and now that I know this, I have to try to figure this out and get it finished on my side, and then we can go after Sweets. Let me do what I need to do, and then we'll get Sweets out the way. Well, I don't know what made Lieutenant Green think that he can just go confront a dirty cop and it was gonna work out good for him, but he eventually goes and um he confronts Detective Fowler about his wrongdoings. It don't end well for Detective Green. Detective Green gets by his own partner. And you confronted him to let him know you knew he was dirty, like he wasn't gonna kill you for that. Like that was stupid. But he killed him, made it like it was an accidental shooting. It wasn't. Well, after that happens, basically they got to figure out a way to get a hold of Sweets now, because Lieutenant Green did. I think they was gonna go ahead and go with Green's idea, but when Green got killed, they like, well, what the hell? The only help we had is dead now. So they went ahead and did the matters in their own hands. So they come up with a plan. Jerry sets up a meeting with Sweets and offers him $400,000 for him to pardon and leave them alone. Forgive and forget. Like, we lost our mother and one of our brothers. Let's just call it a truce. I'll pay you to call it a truce, basically. And the plan is to set Sweets up, and then Angel is planning to set Detective Fowler up, right? So they set up. Angel sets up Detective Fowler, breaks into his home, and sets this elaborate plan up, and it worked out just fine. The plan was for him to trick Fowler into believing that he was wired up, and that Fowler had confessed to killing Green on a wire. Hold on, we got somebody coming through the door. Well, anyway, back to what I was saying. I don't even know where I left off at. I apologize if I repeat something that you already didn't heard. But yeah, basically, Angel tricks him into thinking that he wired up, mic'd up, and he really wasn't. But it was such a smooth plan because Detective Fowler dumbass fell for it. He assumed that he really was wired up, so now he looked deranged and he looked like he holding Angel hostage versus Angel holding him hostage, right? Well, now they got Detective Fowler out the way. They didn't, you know, he didn't look like he lost his mind shooting at his own people. They end up killing Fowler. All right, so we're gonna fast forward. Now, when Jeremiah set the meeting, he was supposed to meet Sweets way out in Antarctica, because that's what it looked like. Antarctica. They meet all the way in some old, it looked like a snow desert. That's what I'm gonna call it. It's a snow desert. And they meeting out there. Jeremiah and Sweets and all his little Sweets gang and posse is all there. And Sweets thinking, like this is like taking candy from a baby. I'm about to kill this fool and take this money and go about my day. That's what he thinking. Well, that's not how it turns out. Jeremiah was able to convince his staff to turn on him for the 400,000, and they all turned on him. And they turned on him, but none of them had the heart to do nothing to him. None of them wanted to fight. Because I ain't gonna lie, he ended up fighting Bobby Mercer, but he would have had to fight me too. Because I would have got some licks in on that fool. Especially Evan. I don't know why Evan didn't get no licks in on him too. Because, man, he had you eating off the floor. So, as y'all probably seeing up top somewhere on the screen, Bobby and Sweets get to fighting. You know what I'm saying? They throwing punches. They throwing punches. And Bobby wins, basically. I don't know if now here's what I'm not too sure on. I don't know if the final punch killed him or if it just knocked him out. But Sweets ends up getting killed. Bobby ended up winning. So, after that, they all get arrested for Sweets' murder. Bobby, Angel, Jeremiah, they all get arrested for his murder, whatever. And they in there trying to interrogate these men like they really about to say something. And the funniest part in the movie is that all three of them was talking about how they was banging the cop's wife. That ish was hilarious. But that's basically, how it ends up ending. Now, y'all know I like to always do my little small notes, my little recaps, and my whatever. Everybody was scared of Victor Sweets, well, excluding the Mercer brothers. Well, Jerry was still scary. Jerry is scary. Scary Jerry. He was, besides that, the rest of the Mercer brothers were not scared of him. But everybody else was scared of this fool. Everybody. Everybody in town was scared of this man. Except for Bobby, Jack, Angel, and Lieutenant Green. Them the only 4 men that was not scared of that man. Everybody else was scared of him. Cause Victor Sweets runs Detroit. He run Detroit. He wouldn't run Detroit. He wouldn't run Detroit if Big Meech was there. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Big Meech, don't come for me, bro. I'm just playing. We love you out here. But anyway, but yeah, everybody's scared of this man. And from what was said in the movie, Bobby basically told them that Victor Sweets is the nephew of Malcolm Sweets, and Malcolm used to tease and bully and push Victor around. And when Victor got older, Victor, his own uncle, and took over the gang. So that's why everybody's scared of him, I guess. It's because he had the heart to kill his own uncle, I guess, maybe. But and I thought my stuff wasn't recording, y'all. Yeah, if I showed y'all all the bloopers of when I thought it wasn't recording, y'all would see why these podcasts be so long and why I be having to retract, because I always think it's not recording for some reason. I get spooked. Anyway, and this is just my small notes about the people. So like I said, Victor was a little soft kid who got tired of getting picked on and bullied, turned to an even softer big punk thug. That's all he turned into. Then you got Bobby, who's a hothead who can't control his temper and just has so much hatred and anger for the world that he didn't know where to direct it. And no matter how much Mama Mercer tried to help craft him and turn him, it was up to him to turn into a man that knew how to control his anger. Jeremiah, you can tell he never really wanted to be about that street life. He never wanted to be a thug, but he grew up with his brothers, and they all were tough and rugged, so he had to be tough and rugged right along with him. But he always just wanted to be what he is now, a married man, a family man. He didn't want none of that street life. He wanted to be a normal man. Angel. Angel, I think he's just a man trying to find himself. I think that's all it was about Angel. I think Angel was just trying to find who he wanted to be and who he needed to be. I think that's what it was for Angel. I don't think Angel really I don't think there's nothing really wrong with Angel besides the fact that he just was trying to find himself. Jack. Jack was a young and foolish youngster who just followed in the footsteps of his brothers. He didn't really have his own path besides maybe the music thing, but he didn't have his own path, and um he didn't really know what he was looking for. He was still lost. He was still hurt and still traumatized by his childhood trauma. It never really says what was done to Jack, but it had to be some messed up stuff because Jack, the entire movie, you would catch Jack staring off in the days and doing stuff like this with his face. You'll catch it, and at that time, you can tell he was just traumatized by his childhood life, basically things he went through in his childhood. Um, Now one thing that stood out to me is it's crazy because in the movie Fowler, when Bobby and Angel, when they killed the two thugs that killed their mama, Fowler and Lieutenant Green knew that they did it. They just didn't have no proof, but they knew that they did it. And Lieutenant Green thought, or not Green, but Lieutenant Detective Fowler thought that if I come in here with a fake piece of hair and try to say I found it off the dead bodies, that I'll get a confession. He thought that was going to work on Bobby Mercer, Angel Mercer, and Jack Mercer. Couldn't have possibly thought that. But he thought it did. He thought it was going to work, right? And I thought it was funny how he thought that would work. But he didn't realize when the same trick he tried to play on them was used against him. When Angel pretended like he was wearing a wire, it worked and he fell for it. You try to trick them with a false and to give you a false confession with false hair follicles, and he tricked you with a false wire. You a cop. You tell me you couldn't tell that it wasn't real? Blew my mind. But when they all got arrested for Sweet's murder, a cop tried that same trick on Bobby again and tried to tell him that they found his hair on on Victor Sweet's body. No, you didn't. They wasn't falling for that. That's why I said they always in there making jokes about how they was sleeping with their wife. In the words of Tyrese, I was bumping uglies with your wife. Hey, that was so funny, bro. Um, Now, in a nutshell, this movie was basically about a woman who took in four young men from different backgrounds, different races, and raised them as brothers, raised them together. Because once, like I said, she couldn't get rid of them. Nobody would take them, so she took them, and she raised them to be brothers. She raised them to grow up together. And what she taught them was that race, age, color don't mean nothing when you were raised to love someone. And when you're raised to love someone, you're raised to protect them at all costs, to love them at all costs, and to be there for them at all costs. And that's what she taught each and every one of them boys. That's why they had such a close knit relationship. Like their relationship on that screen, it was literally just like a real sibling relationship. They fought, they argued, they picked on each other, they held each other down, they protected each other, they loved on each other, and they hurt together. They went through what siblings really go through. And I'm speaking from experience because I got four siblings. And my siblings and I, we that's how we are. We fight, we argue, but we love each other unconditionally and we're always there to support each other. My siblings, they might not watch every podcast every time that they drop, but I know when it come across their feed, I know they gonna at least give me that time and they gonna support me at all costs. And it's always all love. So that's why I wanted to do this movie. When I Googled it to see what movies were considered Thanksgiving movies, and I seen this movie and another movie that y'all gonna get to see next week, when I got to see that this was a Thanksgiving movie, and I was like, you know what? I ain't watched it in years. Let me watch it. I'm glad I did because the connection between their sibling love kind of shadows how my siblings are and how we are. And I'm pretty sure a lot of other people can relate. Now, don't get me wrong, we ain't out here shooting up places and stuff like that, but we got each other's back and we gonna love each other hands down tenfold. Now, when Mama Mercer spoke up, I think she knew that her life would potentially be at risk for that. But just the mere fact she didn't care, that's real love, man. Like, speaking up and trying to protect those you love, knowing that it could come with a cost, that's how people supposed to be, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna end it with this because this was a saying in the movie that I feel like a lot of people need to understand. Lieutenant Green told Bobby Mercer, he said, keep knocking on the devil's door long enough, and sooner or later, somebody's gonna answer. I have been your host with the most, the real Tate, Nicole, and it's been a pleasure. I'm gonna keep cranking these out. Y'all keep rocking with me. I promise you, I'm getting better and better with every story I'm telling y'all. And y'all keep rocking with your girl. I appreciate it. I thank y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe button, and also leave your girl a quick little comment, even if it's a little heart. And hey, if you made it all the way to the end, put a blue heart in the comments for me. I appreciate y'all. Peace out. Once again, Tay with another banger.